It's going to be okay, Mom.
I know.
I have an idea. I think I'm going to write a letter to the president to tell him about the car accident that killed Daddy.
You do just that.
Okay. Dear Mr. President, my name is Angela Augustine and I'm 10 years old and I just lost my dad in a traffic crash. I'm writing to ask you to please do something about our road. Please help us make everyone do their part. I know you will do it, Mr. President, because your promises are your commitment. God bless you and your family. Yours sincerely, Angela Augustine.
Each year, 1.3 million people die from road traffic crashes around the world. In Nigeria, road traffic crashes have devastating implications on our nation's success. Most victims here are men between the ages of 16 and 45, the most productive members of our workforce. They are the leaders and future leaders of the country. In fact, it is estimated that 3% of Nigeria's GDP is lost annually with the deaths of these workers in such crashes.
In addition to the emotional and psychological trauma felt by the victims' loved ones, these deaths often have an enormous financial impact as well. If the victim was the breadwinner, families left without anyone to provide for them will experience drastic changes in the way they live. Some adults and even children are driven to extreme, sometimes illegal means to survive. If the victim was an employee or an owner of a business, the loss in human resources and expertise may cause the business to falter. When victims survive but sustain life-altering injuries, the rise for employers in health and operating insurance costs can cripple a small business or organization. In fact, it is estimated that 3% of Nigeria's GDP is lost annually when workers from every sector of Nigeria's economy are killed in vehicle crashes.
Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, is one of the major oil companies that has about 10,000 workforce, and therefore NNPC becomes vulnerable as a result of road accidents because there are a lot of people that are on the road. If we lose any staff's man-hour, it significantly erodes the bottom line.
While many other developing countries have taken steps to fix their road safety problems, Nigeria's progress has been slower and our roads still remain among the world's most dangerous. And while road quality does play a role in vehicle accidents, human errors actually account for 93% of all crashes. These kinds of errors include inexperienced drivers who make bad decisions and dangerous mistakes, drivers distracted by talking on mobile phones, texting or using other gadgets, speeding, drunk drivers, failure to use seatbelts and child restraints, motorcycle riders who don't wear helmets, drivers who are overly tired or in poor health, drivers who ride in unsafe vehicles that are not roadworthy or lack important safety features such as seat belts, pedestrians such as vendors who don't follow or know the rules of the road.
Some of the challenges we have on the road is having inexperienced drivers on the road.
I noticed a lot of drivers beating traffic lights because of impatience. In some cases, they take the wrong lanes because they are in a hurry. And I've also noticed that, like on Sunday and Saturday mornings, accidents, I probably assume it's as a result of people clubbing and getting drunk.
Additionally, there is insufficient road safety enforcement in Nigeria. Without fear of legal consequences, unsafe behaviors become habits. Whether large or small, traffic crashes clog our roadways and disrupt our lives.
One may say this is just a small accident, but to me it's a major thing because not only has it disrupted my timetable for today, but then one has to now take it to the repairs and spend 1 or 2 days sorting it out.
It is important to note that while a large percentage of road traffic crashes are caused by human factors, poor road infrastructure is also a major problem. All too often, poorly constructed and maintained roadways, a lack of visible road signs and markings, and other road hazards cause fatalities.
Unfortunately, I do have a personal story about someone close to me that was killed, and also unfortunately it happened here in Nigeria. My neighbor worked on contract, and earlier this year in February he was traveling on a regional road, and they had to stop at the scene of a crash, and while they were at the scene a truck came from behind and ran right over them and killed all of them.
Many people have stories of tragedy and loss, but hope lies in the efforts of those working to provide road safety education and to develop initiatives aimed at making road safety a priority. Their dedication strengthens the resolve of those ready to change and challenges those who still see obeying traffic laws as inconvenient or unnecessary.
But even when I work as a road marshal, I try to tell people, I just go and people just obey. But some of them, it's not that they forget, it's because they still think that they can get away with it. But as long as people don't get away with offenses, things will change.
Due to the magnitude and importance of the issue, the United Nations has declared 2011 to 2020 the decade of action for road safety in a global effort to stop the rising trend of traffic crashes around the world.
The United Nations Decade of Action is specifically focused on improving road safety management, particularly in the developing countries in the world. That means that there must be an improvement in how road safety is managed, capacity building, an increase in funding, the measuring of success, and then the approach of getting as many people to join forces to make that difference over the next decade.
Organizations such as the Nigerian Road Safety Partnership are at the forefront in supporting this effort. The NRSP is a newly formed tri-sector business partnership initiative. The federal government, represented by the Federal Road Safety Commission, private sector organizations, and members of civil society make up the NRSP and focus on creating sustainable improvements in Nigerian road safety conditions. The NRSP members work together to share knowledge, devise road safety programs, and to improve organizational standards. The partners collaborate to implement road safety best practice initiatives.
Between 1999 and 2010, our fatality due to road traffic accident went down from 29 in 1999 to 2 in 2010. That is a remarkable improvement. However, we also recognize that we are not an island unto ourselves, because we think whatever we do in Shell can be undermined if we are not able to also influence what goes on outside of Shell. So our membership of this partnership is also one of the efforts we are putting into improving the overall road safety in the country.
Road traffic crashes are the world's 9th most important health problem. If the current trend does not change, crashes are expected to become the 3rd global leading cause of death and disability by 2020. We need to halt and reverse this trend. The President and the entire federal government is committed to this. However, we cannot do this without you, my fellow Nigerians. Improving the safety conditions of our roads requires the participation of many different organizations and sectors. No one sector working alone can effectively reduce the number of road casualties in the country. Every Nigerian organization and individual needs to commit to this.
Angela.
Yes, Mommy?
I think the president got your letter.
I think so, Mom.
Great. Let's go. Oh. Angela, promise me that you will always use your seatbelt and be careful when you cross the road. Promise?
Yes, Mom, I promise.
Thank you. Thank you.
An improvement of the safety conditions of Nigerian roads may not be easy.
We ask every Nigerian to join the promise and do their part to ensure safer roads and fuller lives.
Let's make a change together.
I am committed.
I'm committed.
I am committed.
I am committed to the decade of action on road safety.